Most exciting destination in all of northern Wisconsin. LCO Casino Lodge and Convention Center, Hayward. LCO.
Hello, I'm Kimberly, and welcome to the weekend edition of the Native News Update. It's Friday, April 14th. Many of the stories you hear here can be found at IndianCountryNews.com. And here's the news for today from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. The National Park Service has designated Rainbow Bridge at Lake Powell as a traditional cultural property, the first in Utah, which for centuries has inspired stories of origin, ceremonial rites, and pilgrimages from multiple tribes. The designation gives it a listing on the National Register of Historic Places. The listing on the National Register will now require consultation with associated traditional communities and a more rigorous review process before any federal project can be initiated that might affect the property. The 290-foot tall sandstone bridge, long before recorded history, has been steeped in tradition of the Hopi, Kaibab, Paiute, Navajo, San Juan, Southern Paiute, Ute Mountain Ute, and Zuni people. Archaeological finds near the bridge include a hearth estimated to be 1,500 years old. The bridge is one of the largest known stone arches in the world and spans 275 feet. It was formed by erosion from Bridge Creek, which carries water off the north side of Navajo Mountain. The traditional cultural property is made up of 85 acres within the 160-acre Rainbow Bridge National Monument, which President William Howard Taft established in 1910 to protect the arch as a wonder of nature. While talk of senior housing oversupply has developers scrutinizing new markets with extra care, there are some locales where private pay communities are scant or non-existent, and that is on Native American reservations. Now an operator and a private developer have teamed up and are trying to change that, at least for one tribe. The town of Salamanca in eastern New York soon could be the home to the first dedicated assisted living memory care community on a reservation. If successful, the project could provide a model for other providers looking to serve Native Americans, which is an underserved demographic in part because of steep barriers to developing senior housing on reservation land. Based in Syracuse, New York, Peregrine operates 15 facilities in 5 states: New York, Massachusetts, Maryland, Georgia, and Colorado. The company is the operator and joint venture co-owner of the Salamanca project. Plans are to have 75 units with 55 total assisted living beds and 45 total memory care beds. On April 8th, a reenactment of the United States Standing Bear versus Crook trial took place at the Capitol in Nebraska. The trial, which originally took place in Omaha, concluded that Native Americans were persons. This reenactment was part of a sesquicentennial event called NE 150, Diverse Origins, sponsored by the Boy Scouts of America and the Nebraska Commissions on Indian Affairs. Hundreds of scouts from across Nebraska came to the Capitol for the event. Taylor Keene, dressed in the clothing of Standing Bear, was reenacting the Ponca Chief's famous speech from his 1879 trial. Keene faced Nebraska Supreme Court Chief Justice Mike Havencan, playing the role of Judge Elmer Dundee. "I am a man," Keene said. "God made us both." The reenactment featured Omaha Daily Herald editor Thomas Tibbles, who latched onto Standing Bear's story. For Keene, a member of the Omaha tribe who has reenacted the role of Standing Bear for 5 years, the trial was an important milestone during a time where Native Americans weren't allowed to leave their reservations. Standing Bear was a Ponca chief who successfully argued in the U.S. District Court in 1879 in Omaha that Native Americans are persons within the meaning of the law and have the right of habeas corpus. A flower in one hand and a book in the other, Sarah Winnemucca's sculptured presence in Washington, D.C. and Nevada pays tribute to the legacy that state lawmakers are looking to enhance. Winnemucca is the first Native American woman to write a book titled Life Among the Paiutes, Their Wrongs and Claims, and was published in 1883. In it, she described seeing Western settlement in the 1800s. In the 125 years since her death, Nevada has marked her legacy with statues of her in Carson City, Las Vegas, and Washington. The most recent effort is a bill that seeks to designate October 16th as the state's Sarah Winnemucca Day. Assemblyman Edgar Flores on April 11th presented the bill to designate a special day to the Assembly Government Affairs Committee. Yarrington Paiute tribal chairwoman Lori Tom, who said she was present when the Winnemucca statue was dedicated about a decade ago, joined him. Winnemucca was a translator for the U.S. Army, as well as for Indian agents during the relocation of Native Americans in the 1800s. The Assembly voted unanimously in support of the Assembly Bill 435 on April 13th, and the bill will be forwarded to the Senate. John Legend is teaming up with virtual reality startup Baobab Studios for a new animated series entitled Rainbow Crow. Executive produced by Legend and directed by Madagascar director Eric Darnell, the virtual reality series is based on a Native American folk tale that follows a singing crow, voiced by Legend, on its journey of self-discovery and acceptance in the rainforest. The first episode of Rainbow Crow will premiere this month at the Tribeca Film Festival, with future episodes to be announced later this year. The original story of the Rainbow Crow is a Lenape legend, symbolizing the value of selflessness and service. After a long period of cold weather, the animals of the community became worried. They decided to send a messenger to the Great Spirit to ask for relief. The Rainbow Crow, the most beautifully feathered bird, offers to make the arduous journey. He travels safely and is rewarded by the Great Spirit with the gift of fire. He carries the gift in his beak back to his people, but he is not the same bird upon his return. The fire has scorched his plumage back with only hints of the previous color, and his voice has been made rough and hoarse by the smoke. In this way, his sacrifice is commemorated. And that's another roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. I'd like to thank you for joining me, and have a grand day.